Micah Parsons has demanded a trade, so is he going to go to the Bears? We'll break that down next on the Unbearable Sports Podcast.
I'm going to take the North and never give it back.
So that's a good pick. You get the corner. I got to go bold, right? I got to go bold for this.
Yeah, she's got some nice.
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're out there on YouTube. And also, download that podcast. Search for Unbearable Sports on Apple Podcast, Spotify, you name it, iHeartRadio. You can go out there, just like I said, search for Unbearable Sports. You can find us, rate the show 5 stars, also helps out tremendously. What is going on? It's a Bears off day, but we are still going to be covering the Bears for you because we have to break down Micah Parsons. One of the biggest names demands a trade. And we've seen this with Khalil Mack from back in the day. Like us Bears fans were going, okay, is this going to happen like day before? And then we go against a divisional rival? We're all getting a little bit antsy, but I wanted to break this down and talk about the rumor, right? What's going on? What do we know? What do we know about Micah Parsons? Also, what the trade compensation would look like, what the salary cap would look like. Also, can the Bears even handle? Probably the best question of all. Can the Bears even handle it? What would they have to do in order to handle Micah Parsons? And last but not least, would I do it? And do I think Poles would do it? But before that, make sure to comment down below if you're watching on YouTube. Would you do the trade? Yes or no? Because, yeah, you could also add in if you think Poles is going to do this, but I really am curious about you. Would you make this deal for Micah Parsons? And also, before we get started, just a little bit of news as well. Unbearable Sports will be joining the Believe Network. What does that mean for you, the listener? Nothing really. The show will be the exact same. I still run the show, everything like that. You'll just see some Believe little messages. You'll see Believe, I think, on the logo. If you listen to the show, you'll see Believe Network out there. So nothing really changes with the show. It just helps me with kind of running the show behind the scenes. But yeah, same exact show. Most of you won't even notice anything at all. The ads might change a little bit, but that's about it. But I just wanted to say thank you. This really does. This move is awesome. Is awesome for me. So I'll still be doing the show, still doing everything. But yeah, it just helps out behind the scenes, like I mentioned. So thank you. With that, let's get into the actual Micah Parsons piece. So the rumor origin, let's talk about it. So the rumor origin overall, where is this coming from? And we always like to break this down when we talk about rumors or we talk about anything else, like rumors and, hey, bear, not bear. This isn't really a rumor. He demanded a trade. So it's not a rumor. The whole Bears stuff, that's more of a rumor, right? But what we know about Micah Parsons, he wanted an extension. Why? This is his last year of his rookie deal. So he has the 5th year option on it right now, which he's getting paid about $24 million. So he's got that $24 million on it. And in typical Jerry Jones fashion, he does not want to pay him. And also he kind of called him out that he wasn't out there for all 17, games. So Micah Parsons posted on Twitter just this very, very long, multiple images of what he wanted to say to the Cowboys fans. But the snippets Adam Schefter grabbed, and the snippets, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. I have made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. So the guy does not want to play for the Cowboys. Now there's a couple pieces too that I want to mention. Is that we've seen a lot of this, unfortunately, with the Cowboys where they piss off their star players and they don't pay them until like the last day that they possibly can, right when the season starts. So this seems a little bit more serious than like what happened to CeeDee Lamb last year and what happened to Dak Prescott, the year before that. They continuously do this to their star players. And it's like, okay, at one point, do they kind of break? So with Micah Parsons, this could just be the Dallas Cowboys treatment, but it seems like it's kind of going a next layer, right? It's going to be a little more serious. Now, from a Bears perspective, there's really no rumors. There's nothing actual that is saying the Bears and and the Cowboys. So that's why we can at least just break down Micah Parsons and the other numbers behind it and just more so be like, can we connect the dots? There's no rumor, there's no actual tie as of right now. So now let's go over to Micah Parsons and break down Micah Parsons because this guy's insane. Adam Schefter yet again tweeted this out saying in 4 years with Dallas, he's made 4 Pro Bowls. He was a 3-time All-Pro, Defensive Rookie of the Year, 52.5 sacks in only 4 seasons, 9 forced fumbles, and 4 fumble recoveries. And he's only 26 years old. Like, keep that in mind. And then if we look over at the PFF stats, this guy, 90 grade last season, 92.4 the season before that, 91.8 the season before that, 89.7 the season before that. And what I also find very insane about this too is that in his rookie season, the guy played most of the snaps from the linebacker position. He wasn't even a defensive end. He had over 500 snaps in the box and just a little over 300 on the actual defensive line. So he wasn't, and just so everyone knows, he wasn't just playing stand-up linebacker, like outside linebacker. He was a true stand-up linebacker that they sent in on the blitz, and they're like, man, this guy is special when he's rushing the passer. I wonder if he can do that full time. And he can. But like we said too, he's 26 years old. This guy is young, and he's absolutely insane. Now, when we look at his just overall pass rush, and really the reason why we highlight his pass rush grades is he's not like a Khalil Mack where he's a run defense specialist. Micah Parsons is a pass rush specialist. That is how he gets his money. It doesn't mean he's bad in run defense. If you look at his PFF grade, always above 60. So always above average with everything that he does from the run defense side. But it's that pass rush that is just insane. And when you look at the advanced metrics, ESPN's advanced analytics has him as the 3rd highest pass rush win rate this year in 2024. Then number 1 in 2023 at 35%, which is insane. And number 1 in 2022. Then if you go to the PFF pass rush win rates, he was 2nd in 2024, 2nd in 2023, and 3rd in 2022. All that you got to know, this dude is different. This guy, like, when you look at the best pass rushers in the NFL, it's him and Myles Garrett, like right now, as the 2 elite, the next upper echelon of defensive ends right now. Now, Nick Bosa's been banged up. That's why I'm kind of leaving him out of some of this, but he's just next level. So when you talk about trade compensation, what does that look like? You know, I'll go over to what Adam Schefter talked about. And Adam Schefter said the thing that he's reminded of is the 27-year-old Khalil Mack getting traded from Oakland to Chicago. When he wanted a new deal, Bears swept him up. And that's all that that's the reason why we're so excited about this. We saw this. We've seen this before. And I think that is where the excitement is coming from. I really want to highlight that it's not being driven by a source that is saying, I know the Bears are interested. It's us saying, hey, we did this back in 2018 and we saw what this did. And Schefter did kind of bring this up as, hey, when the Bears did this, we gave up 2 first-round picks, a 3rd-round pick, and a 6th-round pick. And then we got a 2nd-round pick and a 5th-round pick and Khalil Mack back. Now, I'm curious, what did everyone think of this trade? And this is where maybe I should have went live for this so that we could have all the polls and everything like that. But truly, I've always liked the trade that they did for Khalil Mack. And I still stand by this. And the reason why is because the Bears were trying to win now. And it goes back to if Mitch Trubisky would have hit, this entire team is different. The Khalil Mack trade looks so different because they had their quarterback. And if you have it, we're in a similar position right now as we speak. We expect Caleb to be the guy. We want Caleb to be the guy. We brought in the offensive head coach. So the offensive head coach should then be able to elevate that quarterback that he didn't draft, but we expect him to elevate that quarterback, and getting a defensive end like this, or an edge, would set it out to the next level. Now, the other piece too is when you look at Khalil Mack, very, very similar PFF grades as well. In 2017, he was 90.1, then 92.5 the year before that, then 91.8, and then 86.9. Now the difference is that Khalil Mack, like we said, more of a run defense elite specialist, but also can rush the passer. And when you think about it, Khalil Mack was actually more of an all-around better player, you would say, because he's a better run defender. Still was a very good pass rusher. I'd say Parsons, better pass rusher. Khalil Mack, significantly better run defender. Just then, better overall. While Micah Parsons, he's just special when he's rushing the passer. Just difference maker. And we saw exactly what happened when we got a Khalil Mack. What that ended up doing. So when we look at the compensation, so what would his actual compensation be? So let's flip over, because right now, like we said, he's making $24 million. And this is where I kind of pump the brakes. Not like, okay, hard stop, you can't trade for him. But this is where I was actually going to say something a couple shows ago, because what we're seeing is something that we never really have seen before, where the true superstars have their own tier of money, like their own separate tier. And you can see this when you look at the average salary, the average value of a contract. Now, yes, I know that people always say, look at the guarantees, because that's actually what they're getting paid. That's actually what you know that they're definitely getting paid, but the average salary still matters to an extent. So when you look at that, TJ Watt, number one at $41 million, Myles Garrett, $40 million, Danielle Hunter, $35 million, Max Crosby, $35 million, Nick Bosa, $34 million. And then you drop down to Josh Hines-Allen at 28.5. Then you have Brian Burns at 28, Milton Williams, 26, Montez Sweat at 24.5. And this is where it's a little bit different when we're talking about Khalil Mack versus Micah Parsons. Because when Khalil Mack was looking for a deal, the best edge rushers, the best defensive players were just getting a little bit less than $20 million. So when you're paying Khalil Mack $20 million, it wasn't that huge of a difference. But with this, you're talking about going all the way to $40 million. and that's a lot of money. So there is something to that where you are, like I said, you see the superstars are getting not just a couple million extra a year compared to their everyone else at the same position. They're getting $20 million more than the next person. They're getting a significant bump. So I understand someone not wanting to pay something like that. That is my biggest pause out of everything with this, is how much value when you're looking at the overall salary cap. It's a lot, right? That is my biggest pause when you talk about all this stuff. Because yeah, the draft assets, as you all know, I'm huge into the draft, and it would really suck because then we wouldn't have, first round picks for the next 2 years. But to me, the salary cap is the biggest piece when it comes down to, would you do it? Should you do it with the Bears? So let's actually continue to break down this salary cap and look actually at the Bears salary cap. And this is what we talked about with Trey Hendrickson, where I was like, yeah, the Bears could trade for Trey Hendrickson, but they have to get rid of someone. They have to do something. Because if you look at it, Bears only have $13 million in cap space right now. And overall, they're not, I think they're one of the they're one of the smallest current cap space teams right now as we speak. Now, does this change next year? No. Next year, the Bears are minus $9 million into the cap next season. So we don't have this surplus of cap space in 2026. So if you can't just say like, hey, let's sign him to a very small deal and then we'll push it all out. The cap is being pushed to next year. So we have $9.5 million negative next season. So I want to just definitely call that out, because I think a lot of us were looking at this current season and we're so used to, next year we got all the money. The money's used up. So when you look at this, and if you're trading, so for those that can see the screen, I have how much you can save it. That's the far right-hand column that says how much you can save if you trade, because we're post June 1st in 2025. So technically, we could trade someone away and free up some cap space. You can also restructure. You'd have to restructure some deals in order to create some cap space as well. You can do kind of the new age, add void years to it as well. basically you would have to do something that Ryan Poles has not done in order to make that salary cap work. Because right now, simply put, you just simply cannot do it. $13 million. So in order to move it, in order to even move Micah Parsons to the Bears, you have to clear up $11 million in order for it to even work. So where are you going to come up with that money? You're going to have to move DJ Moore's contract out, Montez Sweat's contract out, Jalen Johnson's contract out. You're going to have to do something like that in order to do that. So that's where you kind of lose me a little bit with would they actually do it? Because the way that their salary cap is right now, I just can't see it necessarily happening. And I'm trying to see if I have anything else. Oh, the other piece too, just so like when people see the trade numbers, because yeah, if you trade away Montez Sweat, you open up $21 million. You trade DJ Moore, you open up about $21 million. You know, so you could do stuff like that. Tremaine Edmonds, right? You could deal out some of these players and say, hey, because this is where if the Bears were to do something like this, maybe they toss in one of their players. But if they do that, the thing that this chart doesn't show, yes, you free up $20 million when you trade them, but there's also the dead cap number. DJ Moore's dead cap number total is $60 million. So if you trade him, that money gets spread out. Now, when you trade someone, there's a lot of hidden language that is just buried into these contracts. So we don't know the true actual dead cap that gets brought over. But like whenever you do a trade like this, some of it will kind of hit next season, or some of it hits this season, some of it hits next season. It's that next season cap hit that really kind of takes the toll when you do a trade like this. So beware of a chart like this, the whole trade post June 1st, because it's not all that it's cracked up to be. Because yes, you can have something like this, but a lot of that dead cap would then just be pushed out. But a chart like this just simply does not show the next season. So that's where I actually want to skip over to would Poles do this. So then I'll talk about would I do this. Would Poles do this? I don't see so. I'd be very, 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 very shocked if this were to happen. Because for one thing that I don't agree with this mindset, but this is something that I've heard GMs actually care about, and they care about how much money they're spending at a specific position. And actually, I do not have the actual graphic of that up, but the Bears have $16 million for Dayo Odengbo. They have 24.5 a year on Montez Sweat. They are in their minds, they are investing heavily at the defensive end position. That's where I still think it's stupid logic for them to say, we already have all this money at defensive end, we can't spend more. It's like, no, just add good people. Like, don't think about it that way. Can you add good people? It then becomes more of a salary cap issue. And the thing that we have not seen Ryan Poles do is we have not seen him move cap around after a contract has been made. He, finagles the language a little bit, moves things around. And also you have a Jalen Johnson who kind of threw subtle hints that he kind of wants a pay raise because he's not one of the top dogs at cornerback anymore. So he kind of threw some subtle little hints with that as well. So to me, I do not see Poles doing this. I did not expect them to also make the Khalil Mack trade, and they did anyways. So we've seen the Bears fire a head coach midseason. So hey, they might be doing something slightly different with some of these things as well. But I just simply do not see Poles pulling the trigger just because the salary cap just simply does not work. So we'll ask, would I do this? If you can make the salary, I think the biggest thing is if you can make that salary cap work. And, if you have the discussion with his agent to say, hey, we'll get you that 3-year deal, right? Because then you have all those deals together at that 3-year mark, and then you can kind of figure everything out there. I'd say yes then. If you can get him, then you are true Super Bowl contenders. You do not have a face on this defense, right? Jalen Johnson's really good. He's not a face. Besides us Bears fans, no one really knows who Jalen Johnson is. And Montez Sweat, I've always said this, he's a Robin. He's not a Batman. He's a good defensive end, but he's not a great defensive end. Jervon, I don't expect him to I think he's going to get better and better and better, but I don't think he's I'm not trying to dig at anybody. He's not a Jalen Carter, right? He's not that elite tier, but we're hoping that he can at least keep on moving up. We don't have that face. That's similar to what the Bears defense had back in 2018. Then they bring in Khalil Mack and it's okay. And then you get Akeem Hicks getting a little bit more limelight. Then you have, everybody else getting more of that star potential, more eyes on them. Micah Parsons is that, and getting an elite player like that is usually worth it. So to me, I just think if you want to make a bang and you want to try and get onto this Super Bowl run and truly take advantage of Caleb Williams on a rookie deal, why not? So that's my take on it, because he's a Hall of Fame level player and one of the best defensive ends out there, and he just changes the game out there. So that's my take on it. Let me know your take down below in the comments. And like I said, make sure to subscribe out there. Hit the notification bell, because we have training camp tomorrow. We're getting, 8 days away until some actual Bears football, or 8 or 9 days away until some actual Bears football. I cannot wait. And also download the podcast everywhere that you get your podcast. Just search for Unbearable Sports. And with that, Unbearable Sports Podcast, we are out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair and you